Hello, echa pa' acá, veganos. I hope that you guys are doing great. Good morning. Today we are going to be making yuca pasteles. And basically, yuca pasteles, it is a more simpler version than the masa pasteles. Definitely the only thing involved in here is the yuca. But the yuca, because it is a little bit bitter, you have to make sure that you season it really good. So I do like to put a little bit of all of this in my yuca. I'm going to be using a little bit of the juice of the guisado, of the mixing, the filling. And of course, I have this toppings to put inside. However, there's one vital important information in the yuca making. You will need a container and you will need a cheesecloth. The importance of this is because yuca has a lot of what they call almidón. I don't know how to say that in English, but the white milk that it has, it becomes a little bit sticky. So you want to put it on a cheesecloth, and you want to rinse it at least a little bit. Rinse it a little bit and get that white milk. You can give it 1 to 2 rings. So you will need to put it in something like this. This one has a little bit more of, let me see, I'm so sorry. This one has a little bit more holes, so I will not recommend this one. But this one here, it is a milk bag. This one is perfect, you see, because this one, a lot of the content is not going to flush out once you rinse it. And you're going to put it in here, get water in there, get a little bit of rinse. You squeeze it, throw the water out, and you repeat and do the same thing at least twice. And then you're going to get a bowl, a bigger bowl than this one, and you want to put your yuca, your cassava on it, and then you're going to start seasoning. And I am going to be adding, yes, I will be adding the anato oil for this process, okay? Aquí voy a hacer el proceso de la yuca. Hoy la yuca la compré congelada porque me afecta los dedos cuando la pelo, es un proceso. Voy a utilizar esta bolsa de hacer leche porque los agujeros son pequeños y la voy a enjuagar 2 veces para sacarle el almidón. Yo la sazono bien porque la yuca de por sí es un poco agria. Y voy a sazonarlo con lo que ven aquí. Y entonces le voy a echar un poco del líquido del consomé, del guiso que hice. Y le voy a echar, para darle color, un poco de aceite con anato. Así que ya en breve vengo. Okay, so I empty this bag in here. You see, nothing is, yeah, it's good. And then I add a little bit of water inside of here because I want to get whatever residual of the yuca in here, inside of this bag. There we go. Oh, you see, there's some yuca in the box. So I want to be smart, and I want to get it because that's still something. It's not that much. So you see the water. Look at that water. So what I'll do, you see, I am so sorry. My phone is always looking to the other side. I apologize for that. Now you can see. You see all this milk. So you want to get that out. And then you want to add more water to it. Let's see if I can do this with my camera in my hand. I apologize. I don't have a tripod. I do have a semi-professional camera. And I've been meaning to get me a SD card, so I can mount it and use it. So you see, this is how I do it. Just inside of I just put the water in there. That's going to help some of that to come out. You don't have to kill yourself. You really don't. And then what you want to do is that you're going to be squeezing this. You will need 2 hands for this. And I will do just right that, and I will show you how it comes out. Okay, we are back. So this got squeezed really good. Esto lo exprimí bastante. Let's get it out. To be honest, this is not a lot. This is not going to give you a lot of pasteles, okay? Just so you know. This is only 2 pounds. So if you want to have more pasteles, just purchase another bag. And I'm going to bird invert it so I can get whatever it is left. I'll be right back. Okay, so if you see after you squeeze it really good, there is some mush there. Oh, it basically comes the pulp a little bit dry. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to mention is that, so this is already shredded. You can see I left it, apologize, have to move my bird so he doesn't continue talking. So as I was stating, this is already, you know, processed, ya ha estado aguayado. And you want to leave it, if you buy it frozen, you want to leave it from one day to another one at the bottom. Not take it out from the freezer and put it in your refrigerator. And even if you want, you can leave it outside and it's going to be more manageable. So you can see the yuca, it is very rough. So this definitely is not going to be good for our pasteles because we want the masa to be very smooth. But this is the part that what I do is that before I put it in my white mouth food processor, a lot of people think, oh, it is already, you know, like processed that you don't need to do nothing to it now. It's not true because this is very chunky. You want this masa to be very soft. Otherwise, those pasteles are not going to taste good. So this is the time that you want to add your liquid. And I'm going to put not much with that amount. And I'm going to mix it. You see, it is not that much. You can add a little bit more as you go. It's just going to help the texture to become a little bit more workable because it is a little bit rough de yuca. La yuca hay que mojarla un poquitito con ese caldo. Y esta, si usted la compra congelada, tiene que pasarla por el procesador, señores. La yuca no está procesada para pasteles en estos momentos. Usted siempre tiene que pasarla por el procesador. Pero este es el momento en que yo tomo la oportunidad para yo echarle un poco de ese caldo que yo tengo. This is the time that I take the opportunity to put some of that mixture to help the texture to get it a little bit more flowable, that it's more, you know, workable, para que así yo pueda trabajar con ella. Y vamos, cada cual hace lo que usted, como usted lo haga, eso es usted, cada cual hace las cosas diferentes. Each person will have their own method, and that's fine. I'm just showing you how do I make it in my method, and like I have never had a problem the way that I do my yuca pasteles, and they all taste really, really good. Unfortunately, my sauce, it came a little bit, there we go. That's it. I don't want to be adding too much. And like I said, this is getting flavor from that jackfruit mixture. It is not going to be, oh, it smells so good, like really, really good. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this in the food processor. And in the food processor, I'm going to add my anato and I'm going to add the seasoning, okay? I'll be right back. So you want to make sure that your bowl comes as clean as possible. And we're going to be starting processing this to see how it goes. Maybe this might need a little bit of more liquid to make it smoother. In the event of that, then we are going to add a little bit of full fat coconut milk that comes in the can. Usually the pasteles in Puerto Rico, they add carnation milk because to make them smooth. The masa don't need that because it has the pumpkin. Tiene la calabaza, la de masa no necesita la leche carnation porque tiene la calabaza y la calabaza lo que le va a dar es esa textura de suavidad. Pero la yuca cuando se compra congelada, cambia la textura. When you purchase the cassava frozen, it changed the texture. When you grind it fresh, it's going to be sticky, it's going to be very soft, more workable. But when you buy it frozen, it's changed the texture. So all of those complex that comes into all of those components from the texture, they change, of course, because they get frozen. So I'm going to start. This is going to be loud, and here we go. I'm going to continue having this process for a good time, and I'll be right back. So you see, it's becoming a smooth surface. You want to make sure that this area, you see, is going to the sides while the other side of the surface is getting very smooth. You want to clean those areas and make sure that you do that as you go, as it's processing. You stop, come back. It's going to be a little bit rough, like I stated, because this is frozen. It's not when it is very different when it is fresh. If you want to do the pasteles of yuca fresh, go ahead and do it. It is a process. Just make sure that, you take your time peeling them and all the stuff, cleaning the skin and all that, whatever method you do. I'm going to add a little bit of this liquid so it can help me. And if I find that it still need a little bit of liquid, then I'm going to add a little bit of that coconut milk. But I will show you if I actually do that or not, okay? So I'm going to continue processing this and moving it and making sure that there's nothing getting stuck in here. And this is a wide mouth Hamilton, and I love it. I have this for years, like more than 10 years. I have stopped it already like 2 times. Ooh, trying to clean the areas like you see. This is going to take like a stopping and cleaning around about probably like 3 more times. However, we know that, like I stated, when it is frozen, the texture changes. That doesn't mean that it is impossible to work. It just means that you need to be patient. La textura cambia cuando es congelada. No significa que usted no puede trabajar con ella. Lo que significa que va a tener que tener un poquito más de paciencia para con la masa. So what I'm going to do, because I see that my masa, it is struggling a little bit, and I want this to be quick because I don't want to be all day. This is what I'm going to do. I love this can. This one is gluten-free, and it is organic, the Thai Kitchen organic coconut milk. It is my favorite. I love it. You can find this at Costco in the box of probably 6 of them. 6 or 8 of them. Yeah, I think there's 6 or 8. Costs like $7. This one can of this costs like $2.99 or $2 something. Like, it is really expensive, but it is one of the best. So you see, I'm not going to be adding like crazy. I got this spoon. I'm going to be adding 2. I'm going to mix it with whatever I have here. And I'm just going to put this on the side. You see, you don't be adding a lot of the stuff. You want to add slowly, because you can add, but you cannot take back. Usted quieren añadirle poco a poco, lo añadí estas 3 cucharadas de esta leche de coco, que es una de las mejores leches de coco que existe. Usted puede añadir siempre, pero nunca puede quitar. Así que voy a vertir esto la mixtura. I'm going to be burning this into the mixer and I'll be right back. Ok, ya yo lo eché aquí. I just put it in here. Vamos a ver cómo se comporta la masa. Let's see how this mixture behaves with that coconut milk. Let's go. Vamos a ver. Ahora sí. Vamos a... ¿Ven? Ya no se está subiendo tanto porque la textura está cambiando. It's not coming all the way up because the texture is changing. It is becoming softer. So I love it. You see what a difference. Look at that. You see, you can see that it's becoming spreadable. That's what you want in pasteles. That the masa becomes spreadable. So I'm going to add to this. I'm going to add probably a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. And this is not going to change the flavor. It is not going to change it because the cassava, it is very strong. Let me put this content in there and I'll be right back. Okay, I just put it in here. One thing that I probably will be doing next, I'm going to let this get all mixed. And if it comes with the consistency that I want, then I'm going to be adding my oil, okay? So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to get this going and I'll be right back. So I let it go for a good time. And we will see. Oh, another thing that I did is I cleaned my bowl because we want a clean surface for this masa that has just been ground. We don't want none of those huge lumps there. Una cosa que hice fue que limpié también el bowl para no tener grumos ahí, porque la masa se supone que ahora esté suavecita. So the mixture is supposed to be soft. Oh, and we are going to see if it's like butter. Look at that. Isn't that beauty? Woohoo! This is what we are looking for. Oh, and it smells delicious. I just love the cassava smell at all. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I just smell the cassava. Love the smell of the cassava just by itself. I don't care at all about if it's just, that roots vegetable kind of like smell, but I just love it. It's just give me something like, I love it. It's just, I know the food is going to be so good. So to here, I'm going to be opening my, let me get this. I'm going to be getting my oil and I'm just going to pour a little bit of oil at a time. That's it. I'm going to let this mix and until it gets the consistency that I want. I am also, before I forget, I am also going to put to this turmeric, a little bit of turmeric, because it helps with the color and actually the seasoning, that's what it has. Voy a ponerle un poco de turmeric y voy a echarle ese poco de aceite con el anato para ver la consistencia del color que me guste. Y la cúrcuma le va a ayudar a darle ese color también. La cúrcuma está en el sazón. En el sazón que usted utiliza tiene cúrcuma. So if you use regular sazón, it has the turmeric on it. Alrighty, so look at that beautiful color. Isn't that amazing? With just a little bit, there's some lumps there that are a little bit white, but that all is going to get mixed. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to season my cassava. And like I stated to you guys, the cassava needs to be well seasoned because the problem with it is a little bit bitter. So you guys want to season it, you guys can use, because this is only 2 pounds of the cassava. So you don't want to over season it. You don't want to put a lot of it. So just taste a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon. Start by half a teaspoon. And I love to put a little bit of the garlic powder. Some people might not use it. I do like it. And I'm just going to put just a little bit of there. Just a little bit. The cumin as well, just a little bit, because the cumin is very strong. We don't want the cumin to overpowder that flavor that is particular of the cassava. But the salt, it is imperative. I am not going to over salt it because I want to taste this. And let's put it to the mix and we will be right back. Alrighty, so aquí está. Here it is. It looks beautiful. It has perfect color. When I say perfect color, it is perfect color. It doesn't need no more color. However, it does need a little bit more salt. So you guys can add to it another half of teaspoon of the salt. Remember, this is only 2 pounds. Going to add a little bit of turmeric. And not turmeric, a little bit of the cumin, and then a little bit more of the garlic. And this should be a go. I'm going to add actually 2 teaspoons of the liquid. And that's it. 2 teaspoons of the liquid. And we should be good to go. Let's see how this baby goes. Because, smells so good already. I want pasteles. I want it now. All right. Whew. Isn't this a process? No wonder people charge so much, because making pasteles is a very laborious process. Anyway, let's get a little bit. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It has an amazing, amazing flavor. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to add just a little bit of more salt. Just add salt at your taste. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Those 2 teaspoons of the liquid of the jackfruit were amazing. It makes the masa even more softer. But you want it to be spreadable. As you see, the masa, it is already very spreadable. You see, this is what the type of consistency that you want on a masa. Ya esto está bien, está perfecta. Le echo un poquito más de sal porque, como le dije, la yuca siempre hay que sazonarla bien. Like I stated, the yuca, the cassava, you guys have to season it really well because it is a little bit bitter. But this one is perfect. I just add that little bit more. You guys add salt, as you guys go. So basically, a tablespoon. If we want to round it, what I have put here, I put a tablespoon of salt in total, and just a tiny little bit more. And then I added those teaspoons of the liquid. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is amazing. That is one color. I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to pass it on my clean bowl, and I'll be right back. Thank you so much for being patient with me while we do this process together. Alrighty, here we are back. So I just added a little bit more, like a teaspoon, just a teaspoon of the oil, just a teaspoon only. It is already have the color consistency that we needed, but just I wanted to get more fluffier. Oh, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, it smells amazing, fellows. It smells amazing. So you see the difference when they are frozen versus when you pass it through the machine. The fiber content when something like this with a root vegetable, when they are frozen, the fiber content get compacted. So once the mixture gets worked out, that fiber expand, and it expands and it allows you to work with it in a beautiful way. And the chemistry of the mixture, all the components that make the roots vegetable, it will expand. And you can see this right here. When we had it like 2 pounds, it looks like we had more, right? But it is because we have worked the masa really well, and it is at a beautiful texture. El contenido de la masa eran 2 libras, y vemos cómo la masa se ha expandido. ¿Por qué? Porque la fibra de la masa, al estar congelada, se compacta, ¿no? Esa fibra se queda ahí compactada. Ahora, cuando usted la procesa, esa fibra se expande, dándonos la oportunidad a que adquiera la masa una textura mucho mejor, como la que tenemos en estos momentos. I explained that already in Spanish, so that way my fellow Spanish speaking people know. So this is ready. It is seasoned. It doesn't need nothing else. I'm going to be using my spoons for serving. That's what I use for when I'm going to do the pasteles. I'm going to go around. Alrighty. Whew, I am tired, guys. You see? This is very laborious, like I stated. Oh, I put my garbanzo in. Lord have mercy. Oh. In my Goya container. I apologize for that. I put my garbanzo bean in my Goya containers. I'm going to get some of this. This gives an amazing flavor to the pasteles, I have to tell you. Even if you don't put the raisin nuts or the green olives, this alone gives an amazing flavor. I am not going to put the raisin nuts because my husband was like telling me, please don't make the other ones raisin nuts. So I am not going to put them. But anyway, I am cutting it here. I'm sorry with my hands. My hands are clean. There we go. Whoop. Alrighty. And I cut already my. I got my my apron. Tengo el delantal puesto because when you work with achote, Lord have mercy, it could be fatal into your clothing. Like, yeah, for real. Do not use nice clothing when you're doing pasteles. Never do that, because it's like really bad. I already have cut it yesterday. This morning before I started. Like I always stated. I have like a subject, like a test that I actually do. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to make one pastel right now. You know what? Let me put the water boiling, and I'll be right back. And we are going to be making this pastel real quick. Okay, so let's see this baby. Oh my God, I am so excited because let me tell you something. Yucas are my favorite. So I'm going to be doing 1 and 2. I really don't know. I cannot tell you how many pasteles are going to be coming out of this, but we will figure it out. We will find out how many. This is one that I'm going to be eating, of course. So we are going to count in this one. And this is what I like to do. I pat it a little bit, not too much. People like spread the whole thing. Nah, you don't need to spread the whole thing. Remember, this is a pastel. If you want to make them bigger, definitely go ahead and spread the whole thing. You will need bigger piece of sheet like this than this one. I always cut a small one just for my test. But usually this is how my pages are. They're like a notebook. And then I cut them, like this big or like that big. But okay, vamos a ver. I'm going to put a little bit more so we don't make it blind. Como dicen en Puerto Rico, échale un poquito mejor para que no queden ciegos. Because in Puerto Rico, if you don't put enough, they say that they're blind. Que están pasteles ciegos. We don't want pasteles ciegos in here. I do like garbanzo. You know what? I'm going to make for mine. Don't tell nobody. I'm going to make for mine. I'm going to put for mine raisin nuts. I'll be right back. I call it raisin nut, but it's use raisins. And the ones that I use is this one. And it is organic. So anyway, so that is my pastel. Look at that, how beautiful it looks. It looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. And I hope that you guys have found this process to be simpler. I know that it's not simple because it is a process that is labor intense, but I hope that my method, you have found it to be simple. It is a very beautiful and clean process. You see, I got my stuff already here in my container. I got already my stuff here, the masa, and you know, everything prepared, everything prepared, everything prepared. So that way, you work efficiently and smarter than just working harder. So yo espero que ustedes hayan encontrado este proceso más eficiente. La idea de hacer los pasteles, antes los papás trabajaban fuertemente. La idea ahora es de trabajar de forma más inteligente. No joderse mucho, ¿verdad? Just to do it in a way that it is simpler for you, easy, that you are going to be able to multitask and do stuff in your house. La idea es que usted pueda hacer otras cosas en su casa mientras pues tenga estos procesos ocurriendo, ¿no? So I'm going to be folding this pastel. My water is already boiling, and I will put pictures, or I will make a video once this is done. Thank you so much for your support, for watching this video, for giving the thumbs up and all the likes. And I am happy to help always. And if you have any concern, comment, or tip, please, I am more than welcome to receive them from you. Thank you so much, and you guys be blessed.